Peace, YouTube. Let me know if you can hear me. Peace to Instagram. I think I'm on both. So just give me a 13 if you can see me in the house on YouTube, and give me a 13 if you can see me in the house on IG, because I can't tell the difference. So let me know that you're in the house. Big up to all. Peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. I wonder if I can. Okay. I see. Okay. So I see. We got 13s in the house. Yeah. So I'm waiting for the IG crew. Okay. We're going to start off with a beautiful song. Big up to everyone joining. Saturn return. Get it up, get it up, get it up. I got a song for y'all. Join on in. Live on IG and live on YouTube. So if you can't see me on YouTube, you can go to IG.
You're my love, you're my angel, you're the bird of my dreams. I would like to thank you for waiting patiently. Your daddy's home.
Big up to Saturn coming home.
Daddy's home to stay.
It's home to stay, family. 7 years. What's good?
How I've waited for this moment to be by your side. Your best friend told me.
Oh, don't get a copyright strike. I'm all good.
In your eyes, your dad.
Okay, so it seems to be buffering on IG. Can you guys on YouTube see me clearly? Remember, Satan is the light bearer. We're gonna get into that. Let me know on IG if you guys can see me clearly.
It wasn't on a Tuesday afternoon. All I could do was cry, but you,
Daddy's home.
You made a promise that you treasure. I'm coming back home.
Big up to the IG. Big up to YouTube. You coming home to me, Daddy? Daddy's home.
How I wait for this moment.
I'm grateful for Saturn.
By your side.
Finally.
Your best friend wrote and told me you got teardrops in your eyes. Daddy's home.
Big up to Saturn coming in the house.
Daddy's home. He's at home. Daddy's home. He's going to stay. And I will never go away.
Oh, I'm so excited, family. I've been getting presents from Santa. Big up to all in the house. Big up to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Grateful. This is Fleur coming today for another topic of discussion. Big up. I had to come in for Saturn. Hey, Luna. Luna's in the house. Saturn's home. Whoop, whoop. Saturn's home. Whoop, whoop. For those who are really adverse to Saturn right now, I'm sorry. This is not antagonistic to you, but I am very excited. Saturn's been out for 7 years. Daddy's home. Santa Claus is coming to town. For some of you Christians, you should understand this time, because remember, many Christians celebrate Jesus, your Christ, as coming December 25th. But let me tell you a secret, family. Let me tell you too, IG. I'm going to tell you a secret. Jesus, if he existed, was born in the harvest. We just had a harvest moon, family. And the 25th of September is Christ's birthday. And also, I've got a little video for you to bring in the fact. Big up to our Hebrew family. Big up to our Hebrew Israelites, our Judaic family, or Orthodoxy, Sephardic, and Khazar Jews. Daddy's home. Rosh Hashanah is coming. So I'm going to give you a little preview. I'm excited, family. I know, when I come nighttime, I'm all psyched. Listen, Santa Claus is coming home the 25th. Remember, they taught you that Santa Claus, Saturn Claus, Satan, the light bearer, was born December 25th. No, remember, and they equated to Christ's birthday. Christ, if he existed, was born during the harvest. The harvest is the 25th, family. So you're getting presents if you planted your seeds properly. So let's get into Rosh Hashanah discussion. I'm really excited. It's buffering over here in IG. So IG, you guys are having a problem. Come on over to the YouTube. I might cut off the IG if it's buffering because I have too much technology on. Is it buffering? Come on over to our place over here on come over here on YouTube. I'm gonna shapeshift you and put you over here. Okay, it might be pausing because I have too much interference. Okay, so I'm going to show you, hold on. I am going to show you a little video about Rosh Hashanah. Big up to all the Hebrews in the house. So come on in. Saturn's coming. Saturn's direct. He's building steam because daddy's home. And on the 25th, which is Christ's actual birthday, if he existed, which is considered to be the 25th. And that's when all the presents are due. Sean is a celebration of the actual New Year. So we're going to get into the this software is a little pixelated. Is it pixelated? I tried to do something a little different. Is it pixelated for everyone? Listen, Santa Claus bought me a hat. Listen, I'm wearing the colors, the red. There's going to be people saying, oh, Satan is a light bearer. Okay. Remember, they shapeshift everything to make you think and demonize things. Remember, we took back the 13 to demonize the 13, but we took it back. And we taken back the 25th, which is Christ's birthday. It's actually the initiation into Christ's consciousness, family. Go figure that. So let me bring you something else, okay? Hold on. I'm using the new technology, so hopefully you can hear it and it works, okay? So those on IG, big up to my IG crew. Many of you, if you can't see me, go to YouTube. I think YouTube is a little clearer. They always text me during my show. Come on, I have to get this right. Okay, so hold on, family. I am going to do share screen. I don't use this very often. Hold on. Tab. Rosh Hashanah. Okay. There we go. All right, this should do it. We did. Oops, sorry, family. Just be patient with me, Okay, share screen. I will get this right. Okay. All right. It's time for reflection. Where have you missed the mark? How can you grow and improve yourself this year? Where do you need to seek forgiveness? Last night, is a super new year on fire to choose. You can't hear it? You can't hear? Okay. All right, family. Okay, family. I gotta get this right. This is crazy. Technology now. I just can't see. Okay, so you guys, when she's live and extra good, it's massive. Okay, so it's buffering over an IG. I might just end the IG. Big up to IG. Just everyone in IG, you're gonna have to come over to YouTube if it's buffering. Okay, go to YouTube. I'm gonna end the feed on IG because I can't. For some reason, it's and now. Okay, because I think it's too much going on. Okay, big up to everyone in the house. All right, everyone left IG. All right, so listen, family. Well, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it for you separately so you can hear it. Hold on, family. You can hear it separately. You don't have to see it. Hold on. I'll play it for you later. I'll put it on the speaker. So this way you can listen because we're gonna get into the topic of Saturn coming home. Here we go. Okay, here we go.
Rosh Hashanah is the start of a new year in the Jewish calendar and a moment to take stock of your soul. Unlike January 1st, it's serious stuff. It's said that on this day, God takes special note of us and our behaviors, writing us into the book of life. It's time for reflection. Where have you missed the mark? How can you grow and improve yourself this year? Where do you need to seek forgiveness? The last line of the poem read on Rosh Hashanah, Unatana Tokef, is a super concise guide to how we start the new year off right. Teshuvah and tzedakah. Teshuvah, tefillah, and tzedakah. Let's break those down. Teshuvah, the word for spiritual realignment, comes from a Hebrew root that means return. It can be as repentance. It's more like remembering who you truly are and striving to return. Rosh Hashanah is actually a step along in the process of Teshuvah earlier on the 1st of Elul, and then kicks into high gear with the high holidays. Rosh Hashanah is 2 days long. It's full of food, prayer, and some creative rituals. Its name means head of the year, and it has a lot of other names too. The meals are a big deal. Dinners, lunches. Most memorable is the blessing over apples dipped in honey for a sweet new year. You'll also see round challahs, sometimes with raisins, honey cake, sweet foods like honey carrots, kugels, tzimis. Plus, some people have a tradition of eating new fruits, a fiesta of things to taste for the first time in the new year. Sephardi Jews here including foods with names that are puns in Hebrew. For instance, the head of a fish gives you an excuse to say so that we may be like the head and not the tail. It's like saying, get your head in the game. When you see people on Rosh Hashanah at the synagogue or on the street, you can shout out Shana Tova or Shana Tova, which just means have a good year. Speaking of synagogue, if you go, you'll encounter a lot of special liturgy in a book called the Holiday Machzor. This is Tefillah, connecting through prayer. A highlight for many is singing the beloved melody, Avinu Malkeinu. You also hear the Torah stories of Abraham and Sarah, Hagar and Ishmael, and the famous binding of Isaac's story. And you'll hear the sounding of the shofar, the piyah, that's the one little one. Then shivari, that's a threefer. And then there's Churah, and that's like a machine. And then the long one, Gadola, comes from Gadol, which means big, and it's long.
Okay, so I'll leave it at that. You guys are pretty. I may not use this again. I remember this is the second time I'm using StreamYard, and I'm using it on my my actual laptop. So I'm not quite sure if it shows up a certain way, but it doesn't matter because Saturn's home. Santa's come home. Not clear. Now, everyone, hopefully you can see me. Can everyone see me now as the visual? Okay. Who live? Okay, so are you guys giving me a big 13 if you see me in the house? And put a like. I would love it if you put a like on the video just to show a little courtesy coming in the room to let me know that this topic is something that it's not clear. classic. Maybe it's the topic. You know, anytime, why would I do, okay, so we're getting most people. Okay, 13's in the house. Okay, so let's kind of with the topic. Put a like on the video. I can't really see likes or anything. I'm not actually on YouTube. I'm actually in the studio in the StreamYard. Again, my twin flame put me on this. It's a little choppy. Hopefully you can still hear me. If not, what I'll do is I'm going to start off the party here, celebration. Okay, listen, I'm starting off the celebration on YouTube. We're going to discuss the topic, and then we'll take the after party over to IG. How about that? Because IG, normally we can talk amongst each other and so on. So for those who are coming in, we're going to kick off the topic, kick off the celebration with Santa coming home, and also talk about the relation of Saturn and Santa, which I've talked about before, but also how relative the 25th is. And also, if you know that a lot of times with the Hebrew calendar and a lot of the references in the Judaic practices, we know that they're celestially sound, meaning that they usually set up holidays around seasons and celestial alignments that are actually in sync with things galactically happening. And, you know, so this is a very pinnacle point. Remember, we just hit 2012, family. Many of you realized we had the collapse of the timelines a couple of weeks ago. We felt Mandela effects collapse upon each other. We felt us solidifying into a specific timeline. And as time has gone on, it's a layering effect. We're starting to go through a harvest moon. Big up to all those harvest moon. Many of you may have felt like you couldn't sleep or very heavy, very, very almost like it was like really heavy energy during that time. And then we have Saturn, who's been out of the mix for 7 years in retrograde. So many of us have been going through lessons, trials, and tribulations. Doesn't it sound very biblical? I know the Christians and the Judaic people are like, yes, finally, Flurboon has come around. Don't take it too far, because I'm going to bring the celestial galactic connection to everything. So, you know, they're always talking about Christmas movies and so on. But what if I told you, family, they told you part of the truth? What if I told you that, yes, Christmas, the connection to Santa Claus, which is Saturn, was a story that was perpetuated and reverberated in seasons talking about a specific time? What if I told you, family, that really what they wanted to let you know is that there would be a galactic season, which we are now undergoing at this very moment, where 2012, which didn't happen 7 years ago, we actually are in 2012 right now. 2012, according to Gregorian calendar, which is an AI calendar, which is a purposeful smoke and mirrors calendar created to create a way to try to throw you off of your mark, to disallow you from really realizing what year you were actually in. Actually, we're not even in, if we want to keep it real, we're not even in 2012. We're in some other astronomical year that we probably couldn't even calculate, okay? Because Mother Tiamat is a seasoned planet. Now going into her shiny moment. She's graduating, okay? So really, when they talk his birthday, you all know from those who are from the biblical sect, Christ was born during the harvest. So why are they worshiping him and doing Christmas time in December? Family, I'm telling you, and I'm going to share something with you that is not a secret. Remember the secret that came out? I'm excited, family. You know, if I come late to you like this, I'm excited. Saturn's home. Flurboon has been through the darkness of 7 years. Many of you have gone through trials and tribulations. We've been feeling this anxiety. A lot of people aren't sleeping at night. This is what we were anticipating. They flip mode it. They flip mode the dates on you, family. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. They've told you a little bit, but they didn't tell you everything. They flipped it so that you got part of the truth, but really they didn't want to tell you everything. So really at the end of the day, Christ, according to, if you believe it was an entity, I personally know Christ to be a frequency. Listen, family, I don't see Christ as a person or as an entity. I see Christ as a consciousness. Christ's consciousness was born or came to fruition during the harvest. No one is messing with life. It's called bad Wi-Fi connection. I don't know about that. My Wi-Fi is fine. My Wi-Fi works fine if I don't have topics of interest. My Wi-Fi only jacks up when it comes to topics of interest, of importance. If I talk about dropping it like it's hot, if I was twerking, if I was talking about hairstyles or makeup tutorials, I bet you the live stream would go clear. I bet you in the realm of YouTube, I would reverberate through the through YouTube. I'd be suggested on every platform if I was talking about makeup and dropping it like it's hot. So I disagree with you, my love, my lovely goddess. This generally happens to Flurboard. I don't know if you're new to my platform. Many of the people here have been with me. This generally happens if I talk about something that's actually relative. So welcome to our paradigm. But don't worry, we're starting the party here. The VIP will be on IG where we get it real. We talk to everybody. So Christ energy, consciousness is really what's coming into for the 25th. Now we hit the 2012, the actual 2012, according to the Hebrew and the Jewish calendar, was September the 12th. Okay, so we hit 2012. It was a lie. 2012 was not 7 years ago. But if you notice, what's interesting is according to the Gregorian calendar, we were in they considered us in 2012 when Saturn went retrograde, family. Do you think that's by chance? Do you actually think that's by chance that the Gregorian calendar denoted that we were in 2012, 7 years ago, at the same pinnacle point that Saturn went retrograde? And we know Saturn is denoted and being a character. The shadow of Saturn is Santa Claus. And Santa, wait, I need Santa music. Hold on. I have a song for everyone. I'm excited. Big up to everyone coming in the room. Please put a like on the video if you find this at least somewhat interesting and valid and, basically something that you feel is credible. Even if it isn't credible, at least put a like just for coming in the room. I appreciate it. Okay, so listen, family, I'm getting all kinds of, for me to come this late, because I don't like coming late. It's almost 10 o'clock. I only do this on Aquarius rising nights. But you must understand that I'm getting the most amazing intel. And there's some intel I won't even share until conference time. Big up to those coming to the conference. So let me say this. Big up to all those joining us for the conference. I have some intel at the conference that is absolutely on point. And I will share that then. And I will just let you know, because Flurboon has a healthy sense of paranoia. You won't be able to record it. There won't be any cell phones to document it, because obviously I want to share it, and I want it to be something that is personally given, person to person. That's just the kind of gal I am. Hold on. So let me play a song for everyone. I wanted to give this to you because I think you'll appreciate this song. Okay, this is a song for everyone. Join on in. Big up to everyone.
You better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town. He's making a list and checking it twice. Gotta find out who's naughty or nice. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Here he goes.
He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
It's one of my
He
songs.
sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows if you've been bad or good, so be good for goodness sake. Oh, you better watch out, you better not cry, better not pout, I'm telling you why. Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh, hello, everyone. Hello. This is interesting. Welcome to Saturn's return. Saturn. Did you enjoy that? And I like to make jest of things, literally, literally, I want to talk about Saturn's return. Saturn is literally come back into our realm, into a forward movement. Now, and again, I always state this, and this is where we have to be literally we have to put our thinking caps on. I put my Santa, listen, I have my Santa colors on. People call it Saturn. It's not Saturn, it's Santa Claus. And why I decided to absolutely discuss this is because they have literally changed everything and they want you to think it's something different. Another struggle live. Is this live? Is it? Oh Lord, they're messing with the live again. Okay. All right, family. Let's do this. Is the live? Never mind. Just have to be out of live chat. Okay. Do me a favor. Can you see the live okay? I'm hoping you guys could see it. Because do I have to shut this down already? You hear me? Okay. Okay. It could be the software. I don't necessarily like, I'm going to use another software. I'm trying different software. Okay. All right. So let's discuss this. 7 years ago, the Gregorian calendar told you that we were entering 2012. Many people were excited. I remember on the day of 2012, there wasn't anything. Remember December 21st, 2012, they made it a big deal and we're thinking, oh my goodness, 2012 is coming. Something magical or something crazy is going to happen to Cataclysm. Remember that? We were all anticipating it. And I remember 2012, January 1st, 2012, it was just like any other day. Many of us were fine. It was all good in the hood. And we just figured, okay, but December 21st was the pinnacle date that they told us to watch for, right? So we waited into the December 21st. And many of us anticipated something, or maybe something, a cataclysm happened. And like I said, the day went through beautifully. But what I noticed on that particular day is Fleur Bruin's third eye started to pulsate. It's one of the first times I remember specifically, it was at 11:15 in the morning. And my third eye, for the first time, I had the tapping on the third eye. First time. That didn't happen before that. That's the first time I ever felt that. And that was on December 21st of the Gregorian calendar's 2012. Okay. So 7 years at that particular time, many of you remember, that was when Saturn went in retrograde. Okay. So I think it was in retrograde in Sagittarius. Big up to all the Sagittarius in the house. Whoop, whoop. All the Sagittarius in the house. Whoop, whoop. Please come in the house and put a like on the video if you step in. We're going to only talk about this a little while because people are saying they can't really see well here. So I don't know if it's still pixelated on here. I want you to actually have a cool, clear view. Okay. So Baron, I like saying Baron. If anybody hears me say Baron all the time, Baron's in the house. Because if you ever watch Dune, there's a guy called Baron, and anytime he comes in the room, he's like, Baron. I always yell it, hey, Narda. Okay, so you see, fine. So let's fast forward. Saturn went retrograde 7 years ago. This is why they dupe us, because they give you little bits and pieces, but they won't ever give you the whole package. When Saturn went retrograde, that's when many of us were going through our life learning lessons. A lot of us went through trials and tribulations. If you remember, family, if you remember even my first video, some of you can go back to 2012. You see my first video. That's when New York had the 3 hurricanes. Remember the subways flooded out. Remember that time when Saturn went in retrograde? We had all these kind of weird kind of new energies. Remember the first time the birds died? If you remember 2011, I don't know if many of you remember, around 2011, the first black birds died on New Year's Day, the day after New Year's or New Year's Day. And then 2012, it happened on the same time of the next year. Remember, we covered that, okay? Do you remember that's the first time that started to happen? That was when Saturn went into retrograde. If you can remember what you were doing during that time, do you remember the trials and tribulations? If you were a Sagittarius, you were going through it. I'm a Sag and I'm a triple Sag. So remember, I was going through the dark night of the soul. I had to release the Kraken, which is my Nazi ex-husband. So I released the Kraken, let him free. Big up to all those who rid themselves of Nazis and sociopaths and narcissists. I'm very grateful to know you, and I congratulate you if you were able to free yourself from the pathology and the psychosis of the diabolical ones called narcissists, sociopaths, and psychotics, okay? Because at that time, many of you realized, oh, we got another Empress Light is another triple Sag. A lot of us went through that. A lot of us started to work on our literally start working on our contracts. Because when you're incarnated here, we had contracts. These are contracts we had to satisfy. What were your contracts, your soul contracts? Did you come here to learn how to be more empathetic? Did you learn here how to be more compassionate to yourself? Your divorce cleared in 2012. Look, Gia was one of the ones affected by, the retrograde. Saturn going in retrograde, clearing house. Okay. Do you remember what contracts you came here? Did you come back? Did you come here to learn how to see others and reflect them and see maybe likeness in others rather than differences? Did your soul contract that you signed that you needed to resolve, was it something that had to do with maybe you seeing from another perspective rather than only seeing from frontal? You were able to see from your peripherals. Okay. So a lot of these were contracts that needed to be satisfied and resolved. Okay. So many of us went through them. We were going through our own evolution, our spiritual evolution, our conscious evolution during this time when Saturn goes into retrograde. It may more personally hit houses, especially with the Sagittarius, especially if it goes retrograde in a sign. It will take that sign through a couple of years through the dark night of the soul. And Saturn isn't to hurt anyone. Saturn is to teach you lessons, life lessons that are necessary to upgrade you to higher fields of consciousness. That's all it is. So many of you have felt Saturn, and that's why we're celebrating today. We're celebrating the return Daddy's home. If you heard the song that I played when we first came in, Daddy's home, finally, there is going to be some seeds that will bloom. All of those hard lessons that we learned, those contracts that were satisfied or unsatisfied, karmic debt is due. We talked about this before. So if you've done the work, if you resolved and satisfied those contracts, signed them on a dotted line and signed them and actually satisfied your contracts, when Daddy comes home, when Saturn comes home, you will now enjoy, remember, it's harvest season, Christ. Remember, Christ was born, Christ came, harvest came when Christ was born in the fall harvest time, which is the 25th of September. But though they told you that Jesus Christ was born in December 25th, he was born in harvest. If he was an entity, I personally think it is, I don't see Christ as a person. I'm just saying Christ is an energy. Many of you have, basically, hey, Melanated High Priestess, what's up? Many of you have made him into an idol or him into a genre. It is an energy. So Christ consciousness was to be born during the full harvest when Saturn came back direct. So many of you beautiful light workers, who have been going through the trenches, y'all, the foot soldiers, the foot soldieresses, you warrioresses who've been in the trenches working on self, resolving inner trauma. You, my loves, you will now experience Daddy coming home, and guess what? He's got presents for all of you hard workers. He had word during those 7 years when he was off working in other houses, making sure he was allowing to see what lessons need to be distributed globally and celestially. He got word that you have been doing all the great things in your life. You've been service to others. You've been sacrificing your own ego to basically resolve aspects of the deeper layers of your conscious mind in order to upgrade. Santa's home, and it's for you because now during harvest season, everything is coming to fruition. And that's why it's a celebration for some. But for the diabolical ones, Saturn also comes home for something else too. Because we're in 2012, and there's a conscious layering that has happened with the collapse of the timelines, all karmic debts are due, family. All debts are due. I told you, if you were in a hotel room, dropping it like it's hot, having your homies come in, eating from the mini bar, you ate all the Pringles, the Milky Ways, you drank all the punch in French is liquor. You drank all the liquor, you've been punching holes, jumping on the bed, having diabolical sex with the mass destruction of incubus and succubus. Now it's checkout day. And now you have to go down to the lobby with your hat on and you have to pay. Sir, you drank all the liquor and you ate all the Pringles. And yes, we had Snicker bars in there too. Those are much more money than the Twix. And you owe 40,000 karmic. But ma'am, I don't have that. Excuse me? You ate all that. You enjoyed the amenities, right? You enjoyed the amenities, didn't you? Dropped it like it's hot. You were playing Cardi B, all kinds of diabolical music, all kinds of low frequency in the room. You thought you were Cardi B on 207th and Broadway in Manhattan, but now you have to pay. Well, ma'am, I don't have that. Well, you know what, sir? There's a consequence for engaging in those behaviors and being unable to satisfy the bill. So if you don't pay and you don't frequency or the karmic coins to satisfy the bill, you, sir, are going to have a consequence, and you are going to have to go, and that's going to have to be resolved, and then we're going to have to get you arrested. You're going to have to bend over, have diabolicalness all in your rear end. Yes, sir. So either you pay or we're going to make you pay. Saturn's home, family. All debts are due. If you've been naughty or nice, Santa has been checking a list. He checked it twice. Actually, he checked it 13 times. It's time. Saturn coming home, but he is not fully here yet. He's just checked in. He just came in the house. He just came in. He hasn't taken off his coat. He hasn't relaxed yet. He hasn't checked the list totally yet. He just checked in the house. In 7 days on the 25th, family, Saturn will be bringing presents for some of you. I know that you wrote lists of things that you desired. I have a list of things that I asked Santa for, and I said, I've been a good stewardess to Mother Earth for the last 7 years. I have made sure that I've upheld myself mostly to a higher standard of consciousness, and I've been mindful and loving to myself, and I've been loving to others. Santa, I wrote you a list, and I know because I have been mostly, I didn't say totally. Wait, notice I didn't say. I have been mostly a good steward, a proper high frequency being. I know that some of those gifts already are showing up. Santa's gifting me already. The 25th is the day that Christ consciousness was born in the year 2012. It is the mark of the new year, and Rosh Hashanah remarks it on the 30th, in 2 days of a celebration with honey, which is a celebratory. It is a ritual elixir that is given to the gods. The Jewish calendar knew that this time was coming. This is a beautiful time on the planet for some, and it is the absolute opposite for those who have been stepping on the necks of the enlightened one. Karma is due. And for all those who have been doing harm to the innocent, who have been engaged in low field, abusive behavior, Daddy's home. And he knows who's been naughty and he knows who's been nice. And he's realized and he's checked it off. And he's making sure that all those every and all actions that has taken place over the last 7 years while Daddy has been out and in another direction. So I hope you're ready, family. Please put a like on the video. Please put a like on the video. I know this isn't punch. This is actually strawberry lemonade, which is really good. So let me explain something. I'm excited, and the anticipation that many of you have been feeling over the last couple of days has been amazing. I've been getting phone calls. A lot of people have been feeling like a strong anxiety. Some of you getting heart palpitations. Some of you are feeling like you can't sleep at night. The anticipation has been outrageous. And it's a magical time on the planet, but this is a time that many have worked for. And I make fun, and it's just how Fleur gets down. Big up to all coming in the house. Please put a like on the video. I appreciate it. You know, I make light of this situation because I think for a lot of times, as people who have really made a point to try their darndest to satisfy ancestral contracts and also karmic contracts that we had taken on in order to ascend to higher levels of consciousness and spirituality, we had to resolve certain things that may have needed to be recalibrated. So in the way that's been demonized and called Satan, and Satan in itself, if we go through, remember the way that they use wording, and they switch words around like an anagram, like what's it called? Like an anagram, when you change the words around, they do that purposefully to make it more insidious. Okay, Saturn, Satan, one and the same. Now, if you think about it, you say, well, Satan is a representation of negativity and so on. And I would agree, because the demon that is associated with Satan is a big, horned, scary looking, dark being. But what if I told you that the very being that they tell you and they demonize is actually a light being, a light bearer who would bring truth and justice? What if I told you it's a bearer of light and justice, and basically like Lady Liberty, that Satan that they demonize is probably a female, because you know they demonize all us females. Big up to all the sea stars in the house. And also it's home court advantage. And Saturn's coming home, daddy's coming home, when basically, Lucifer, thank you, RVD. Lucifer is the light bearer, right? So they demonize. Well, Lucifer, isn't it kind of like goes hand in hand? Lucifer and Satan, they kind of put it all together. The Satanists are very dark. So havoc. The Luciferians and the Satanists on this planet have been diabolical. But what I'm saying is that they will attach certain frequencies to certain ends of words to demonize it when it means something different. Why would you have a word like Saturn that translates into Santa, that translates into to basically Satan? Do you see what I mean? Because in itself, if we know consciously and we're metaphysically astute, we always realize that there's two parts of people. There's always two parts. We live in a I was going to say a bipolar existence, that too, but we live in duality. Okay. So as Fleur shows up to you sometimes as a light being, many of you have witnessed me show up, right? Where I get really, really heated. I'm so passionate, and I'm in my feelings. That's a shadow aspect. There's different shadows that show up. Not Fleur means there's different sides to Fleur. So what if I told you that Satan and Santa are one and the same? One is an lightheartedness, an elder who's loving and giving and service to others. Satan was the other aspect of Santa, who showed up as a materialistic, selfish, non-empathetic, detached being that was only here for chaos, but Santa represented the light. Okay? But what if they're one entity? Two aspects that are under one umbrella. And it kind of shows up in humanity. So we have to be very mindful in how they translate, and these words are bastardized in the English language. The English language, bastardized language on this planet at this point. I'm sure there were others, but it is. It's full of sigils and anagrams and symbols and and word reversals and hidden languages. It's one of the languages that if you speak it, you are basically spelling your own demise or others. And it's one of the reasons why on this platform, you won't ever hear us say morning, good morning, because we realize that morning, why would you want to mourn every morning? Why would you say to someone every morning, good morning, bringing on death or sadness, right? The same reason why you walk around and you're always saying blessings. You know, you always see a lot of people saying, oh, bless you, when you sneeze. When you realize the B is a 1 and a 3, and you know that there's more power to something. And by putting 1 and a 3 together, it's a B. So now you're telling people to be less. It's why on this platform, we don't call brown people black, because we realize that's a vibration of 13 in front of less. So you're basically calling black people lack, and you're calling blessed people less. So we know that there are rituals and signs and sigils in a lot of these words, and we basically are acknowledging it and disallowing for us to use words or statements and keeping the pattern of, of that pattern of programming, within our repertoire, in our daily behavior. Okay, we say bliss, right? Or we say grand rising, right? A lot of us do it. Big up to Cypher Crew. Cypher Crew, we always say grand rising, good day. Okay, it's the same reason that you wouldn't use certain words. Cramp is, oh yes, no, bless and bliss, absolutely. So Venus is Saturn's mother, and Uranus is Saturn's father. Oh, beautiful, thank you, Voka. Yeah, B is black. Anything with B is exasperated. So if it's something positive behind the B, a B, then it's positive. It just amplifies the word after it. So the fact that Saturn is represented by a lot of different things, it has different entities, because Santa is another entity latched on and connected to a specific time frame. And when we have conversations with Christians, and big up to all my Christians, I would like to say this. I know we have a lot of Christians and religious folk in here, and we are an open. One thing, there's a lot of new people to our platform. Big up to all those who are newly subscribed. Big up to actually a lot of people jumped from John X's channel and came on and decided to join us and see what we're about. So subscribers in the house, we see you, we welcome you. And this is this platform, which you'll notice is we have a lot of really amazing abuelas, daddies, moms. We're very family, also very respectful to one another. You have every tongue. Flurboom comes from another language, another country, or family is foreign. So we acknowledge and we accept all people on this platform. We just want you to respect and honor the platform. That's it. You can have a difference of opinion. We welcome your difference of opinions, because a lot of times we learn from that. We don't take it as a stoic platform where we disallow people from expressing themselves as long as they're respectful, okay? Because we know that on this planet, the only thing that really, you're in the frequency that is in alignment with Mother Tiamat, Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. And if you are out of that alignment, that is what causes most detriment on this planet. So family, we have Saturn that has just gone direct today. Big up to all those who survived the Saturn retrograde. Big up to all the fire signs, my other Sagittarius. Pat yourself, my Sagittarius. Where are my Sagittarius in the house? Put fire in the chat. If you are a fire sign, Sagittarius, put a fire sign in there. Pat yourself on the shoulder, my loves, because you went through it. I know there isn't any Sag that I know that didn't walk through the fire. I know we like it hot. I know we like to drop it like it's hot sometimes, but the heat from literally dealing with a lot of the lessons learning. And I think I've been truly humbled. And I'm so grateful that I'm actually here with my sane mind, my three eyes. And I'm grateful to be here with you amazing beings on this planet as earthlings. Some of you aren't earthlings, I know, as beings on this planet. Let's just say that. Look at all the fire signs. Look at Sages. You Sages went through the fire. Listen, I have another song. I'm not gonna play it now. I'll play it when I get to IG. I got songs for the fire signs for days. We actually did an amazing job. You went through the fire, you saw your shadows, you resolved it, and Saturn gave you all of the lessons necessary to bring you to another stage of evolution. If you didn't learn it, the Santa has an after-school program for all those naughty children that decided to throw gum in the classroom, weren't listening when the teacher was teaching you, decided they didn't want to do the homework in class. For all those who did not take heed when Saturn was trying to teach you those lessons, you have an after-school program, or you may have summer school. And in summer school, you won't have the privileges of regular school. Oh, you know Shaka Khan, right, Spirit? Spirit knew I was going to play Shaka. Spirit, I'm going to play Shaka Khan when we get over to IG, to the after party. And if all those coming in the house, let me state this, who are new to the channel, Flurburn is alcohol-free. I don't drink alcohol, except on the time we did the twin flame thing and I popped the bottle. But that was only a special occasion. I don't drink alcohol. I'm drug-free. I'm psychedelic-free. I am a mommy and I'm a rational being. I always have to put that in there. Because people come to the channel and be like, this brown woman believes in ETs and extraterrestrial. They actually think they're going through the rapture and we're a ship. No, I just personally know that this is a very pinnacle time. I'm excited that it's 2012. I come from the prepper community. Big up to all the preppers in the beautiful year, family. And the fact that Saturn's coming back, let me just tell you, over the next couple of days, many of you have seen Saturn cleaning up. If you haven't seen it already, a lot of the how people feel, and along with Saturn coming home, Daddy coming home, a lot of you had naughty friends. Some of you light workers had naughty friends that you kept around. You were basically enabling troublemakers. But because Saturn was coming home, Daddy was coming home, the line has been drawn in the sand. If you notice, family, if you had, and you're a light worker or somebody who's very service to others, you notice you aren't able to be a party to those who are diabolical, those who are harming children or families, those who are narcissistic or sociopathic. If you notice, there's been a clear divide at exactly now. If you didn't know, there aren't any more hidden agendas. Everything's coming out of the closet. In order to clear it out, in order to resolve things, you have to be able to see it. So many of you have noticed that toxic people, if you are the toxic person, you're noticing you're with other toxic people. If you are someone who isn't toxic, you are noticing that everything's being cleared up. A lot of people are noticing being more isolated. So I know it's a big deal, and that may be what you're noticing as well. It's harder because the higher people are there. Remember, I personally only think there's 144 souls on. This is my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but I've said this over the last 6 years. I think there's 144,000 souls on this planet. Souls. Now, I know there's biobots, syntheticas, clones, holographic people, empty seeders, reptilian hybrids that are hiding themselves and cloaking themselves in a group of other ETs that you can't see interdimensionally and extraterrestrially. Okay, I know they're here too, but I'm talking about souls, earthling souls. I know in my world, and what I acknowledge is that there's only 100 souls on this planet, and those are the ones here for the ascension process. Okay, so this is what I acknowledge. So when you feel like you're alone, you should feel like you're alone if you're part of the 144, because there's not many of you. If you take the 144,000 worldwide, you will notice that it will feel very lonely. It will feel very lonely. It'll feel in a cave. Excuse me. Someone's smoking something funny. Someone's smoking clove cigarettes. Now, what are the things you will notice? Someone's smoking clove cigarettes. I smell it. Somebody in here is smoking clove cigarette. It's not marijuana. It smells like something else. Y'all need to stop blowing that in the screen, because last time you did it, I smelled your marijuana when you all were chiefing. Somebody's smoking something like clove weird, and they're blowing it. It smells like black pepper. Can you smoke black pepper? Somebody's doing that. Please don't blow it in the screen, because I'm hypersensitive and I can smell it and you're making me sneeze. So I'm just saying, I'm rational and I'm sane. So because of that reason, you will now start to see a clear divide and all lines will be drawn. So you will clearly notice when someone's service to others. If you see little dirty potty mouth, diabolical things, and they're just nasty and they're always mean and cruel to people and judgment, or they're just and all people align with them are very judgmental and energies and just always talking about, they got leukoplasia, they're always talking about negative things, always talking about what's wrong with them, always talking about what's wrong with the world, Debbie Downers. Those beings will be along with the other beings that are similar to that. Remember, with the collapse of the timeline, you will be in the frequency that is most reminiscent to you. And we always talk about do the check the mic step. And if you haven't seen a video, check the video out when I talk about checking your frequency. If you do the check the mic, you will notice, because you will go outside of your safe haven, and you will see what you are, as within, so without. So whatever you are will project into your world, and it will co-create your environment. So if you're walking out your door and you're hearing, tower, I love when Sensei does that. I gotta do it with Sensei. Big up to Sensei, who's one of my men. She's like, tower over here, tower over here. If you walk out your door and you're hearing ricochet shots, you're seeing beer bottles outside your door, if you're smelling urine, if you're seeing people that are unkind to one another, if you're seeing people not paying attention or not being friendly, that's a testament to what's going on inside of you. Because you manifest who you are. This is, if you want to keep it, and you have to realize that this is a holograph we're all coexisting in. This is a general holograph, and basically whatever is within you and how you perceive the world is how you will project the world. And if you can accept that, then you realize that every time you check the mic, if you're seeing an aspect of the world that's showing up chaotically, there needs to be some more self-reflection and more resolvement of what's going on within yourself. Okay. So at this moment, though, with the collapse of the timelines and us permeating into a straight line into the frequency that we most resonate with, we most emanate, now you will see more of yourself. And the higher up you are, the less people are there. You might just end up being alone a lot of times. And a lot of our sea stars and sun stars are really struggling with feeling very isolated, because now with the collapsing of the timeline, there aren't a lot of beings up there. Especially if you're part of the 144, there aren't a lot of beings around you who are part of, you're gonna feel like you're alone on an island. Okay? That's just what it is. But it's okay, because that is part of the process. It's part of the purge. Okay? If we're going to higher levels, the higher level you go up, the less beings you're going to have activity with, right? So, you go to elementary schools, a lot of children. And they're dancing, they're doing little naughty things, right? The little ones, they're playing, they're doing Play-Doh. Okay. You go to middle school, all right, there's less children. They're a little different. They're finding themselves and so on. You go to high school, it's a little more concentrated, maybe a little less children than all the elementary school children. It's getting smaller and smaller. Then you go to university, okay, then it's a smaller network of people. Maybe just you're getting a wider span. So you're getting people from different countries, different cities joining you in your university, but it's still smaller. Then you get into PhD, you go to PhD programs, it's like, oh, wait, there's not that many people. It's like a small handful of people, okay? So for those who get more specialized and go into, other specialized forms of education, whether you're going to being an attorney, you're going to be a doctor, being specified in certain fields, you notice it's a very small niche of people, okay? It's the same when you go into higher realms of consciousness. The higher you go into the higher levels of consciousness, the less you will see, concentrations of people, because that's an earned position. You have to make it through elementary to get to middle school. You have to make it through middle school to get to high school. You have to make it through high school, and then you have to make it through high school to a heightened degree, and at least have some sort of, a decent intellect to even make it into college, because you have to qualify for college. Okay, university. And then when you qualify for university, you have to be qualified for your doctorate, right? In the doctoral programs, okay? And you have to make sure you pass the bar in order to be a practicing attorney in your city, okay? So this is just a detail of how it shows up, in the matrix, but how it shows up in the spiritual realm as well. So as we go into the higher tiers of consciousness, you're going to have less people that are in sync with you. And I love, big up to, Feel Good. Feel Good was, listen, Paola gave me a video and we were watching Feel Good. Feel Good was like this. It is not personal, family. Big up to my homie Feel Good. He was like, it's not personal. It's about frequency, personal, vibrational frequency. I love when he said this. This is the statement of the year. It isn't personal. It's being around or not being around people isn't personal. It's vibrational frequency. So if someone isn't matching you, it just is what it is. You know, I told you all the time, I used to love, because, you know, I taught Sangay Latin dance. I used to love going dancing. As I started to elevate in consciousness, I wasn't allotted to go and hang out at these places, these seedy places that I would love to, like, you know, and the people were always drinking, they were smoking. I had a wonderful time with the music, but the environment was toxic, right? It's the environment wasn't healthy for me. I love the music, but it didn't match. So I wasn't able to feel comfortable in those states and in those places that I used to be able to hang for a little bit, tolerate. I wasn't able to do that. So now we're going into other realms. So now the 144 are more isolated. So for those who are experiencing that, let me just, if I can give you any resolve, it's all good in the hood. It's better that you be isolated in your little nest in your world, going into higher realms of who and what you are. Because remember, when we get to the pinnacle point, a lot of us already surpassed the ceiling. But once you pass the ceiling, there's going to be others like us coming collectively together via the internet. And then personally, we will start niching together personally, physically. Physically, we will start getting together. That's what I do with the conference. That's what we do when we do our little collectives. A lot of you from Cypher, my crew, big into the Cypher crew on Facebook, y'all get together in cities. You start to meet up with your circles, your Cypher. Your circles, your beautiful people who are vibrating at the same frequency. So now you don't have to explain, you know, when it's a full moon and how people are feeling, because everybody just kind of knows. It's like, how are you feeling during the full moon? I feel okay. I'm hydrating. I know the full moon has a lot of this particular Virgo energy, or this Leo feeling really, really emotional. So I know to drink a lot of water, alkaline water, and kind of get rest and kind of nest. You would have to explain that to those who are in your vibration, because they're in that niche. And that's what we're starting to do. And this is where I'm grateful all the time. I say this all the time. You know, as much as YouTube gives me a little bit of angst on here, they have created a wonderful platform for all of us to basically find. Because remember when you met Fleur Brune, how many years ago? 5, 6 years ago? No, 7 years ago. Wow. I've been on YouTube for 7 years ago. I was looking for those who were having terrestrials, those who were in sync with things that I was experiencing. And I wasn't even looking for a lot of people. I was just looking for one, just one. And look at 550 people, 550 people, beings that come from different countries, that have different complexions, that speak different languages and tongues, that come from different social economical backgrounds, that come from different cities. 557 people. Hopefully you put likes on the video, please. 557 people who are conjoining us right now based on frequency. Because I'm not for everyone. If you notice, this platform isn't for everyone. There are people who will come here and be like, listen, it is crazy. She talks about being in contact with extraterrestrials. She also says that fluoride is bad for us. She's telling you to alkaline your water. She's telling you that the food has been homogenized and chemically engineered to ruin our pineal glands and to lessen our lifespan. I think she's crazy. There are people who come here and they literally, like, I can't rock with her. And that's okay. That's okay, because frequency matters. And that's what Phil was saying. It isn't personal. They can't personalize it because they don't know me. They're just not feeling my frequency because we're not matching. We're not matching. That's okay. And that's all good. And actually, you want that. You want those who are within your frequency to come to you and resonate with you. And you want those that are in frequency or are not in it to step away. And it's all good in the hood. So at the end of the day, this is what the collapse of the timeline has done. This is what the beautiful, we had numerous eclipses that brought us to pinnacle points of resolvement. A lot of us were purging extra karma. We were paying, listen, I paid my debt at the Karmic Hotel. I was at the Karmic Hotel. I was dropping it like it's hot, but every time I did, I went down to the lobby. I said, listen, I had a couple of those yummy, those nuts in the bag with the cranberries. Oh, I love those. They give it to you on the plane. I had the trail mix that was like $20 in the Karmic Hotel. I would go down every time I ate something from the Karmic refrigerator, and I would go downstairs to the lobby and say, listen, I want to pay now. I don't want to have to pay when I check out of the Karmic Hotel. I want to pay a little bit now because I don't want a big bill at the end of the time. So I'm going to pay for the nuts that doesn't even sound right. I'm going to pay for the trail mix. I'm going to pay for the trail mix that I was so happily, and it was so late, and I was watching Netflix. There was nothing else in the room. I'm going to pay the $20 now. Okay. And I did that in the Karmic Hotel because I knew, because I always felt like I wanted to always be ahead of the game. I always wanted to settle my debts and make sure I didn't have an overwhelming bill at the end of end of my stay. So anytime I did the alkaline, you know, when you get the Fiji water, and it's like $50. the Karmic Hotel, the Fiji water is like $50. Every time I drank the water, because I didn't want to go to the store, I would either replace the water by going to the cell, wouldn't even know I took it, or I would go downstairs and pay for it. So at the end of my stay, as Saturn came home, Daddy came home, I basically paid for them nuts now. Listen, please put a like on the video. Please put a like on the video if you come into the room. I appreciate it. So Daddy comes home, Saturn comes home. I said, listen, Daddy, I paid for all my goodies. I didn't collect a huge bill. I was up there. Yes, I did have a party, and I didn't tell you because I really was like, you know, it was a cool hotel and it had those pretty flashy lights, and I wanted my friends to see it. They messed up some of the wall, but I went to Home Depot, so the hotel room wouldn't know, and I went actually standing on the wall for the holes my friends put in there like 5 years ago. And I sanded down the walls and I cleaned up the room, Daddy. So now when I check out and they do the over room of my room, Daddy, I paid all my debts. I really did. So I'm good. I think I owed like 100 karmic credits, but I can afford it because guess what? I saved some karmic credits from before when I was saving animals or time to some of these places downtown. So I actually had some karmic credit. So what I did is I applied my karmic credit to my bill, and Daddy, I'm good. So Saturn's home. Saturn's home, family. Right? 20% off. Oh, she got Fiji water. 20%. We got coupons up here. Listen, if you're new to our platform, we got all the mommies here. We got all the soccer moms here. We are all here. Abuelas are here. We got coupons and so that being said, it's going to make it so much easier now for those. I know many of you have, because I've seen it. We've gone through it together. This is a beautiful time, and that's why I'm excited. For those who are excited that Saturn's home, this is a beautiful time. You're getting presents, everyone, and a lot of you. I've been getting gifted. I'm getting pre-gifted. I'm getting like the pre-ample. What is it? The pre-rolls, tendrils, pre-tendrils of Christmas. So Christmas is on the 25th. That's when Christ was born. Christ consciousness comes to fruition, right? Christ was born the 25th. So I'm getting presents. I learned a karmic lesson. Big up to my karmic lesson. I actually learned it with John X. Big up to John X, who a lot of you came off. We actually talked and had an amazing conversation. I really big up. He didn't realize it was a karmic lesson that I learned with his platform. So many of the cipher, you know what I'm talking about already. I appreciate it. Listen, I got a karmic lesson. I did something that wasn't too insightful. I received karma for it immediately. I get karma immediately because it isn't necessary. I'm not facetious. You know, when I do things mindfully sometimes, it's because sometimes I'm just in the mix or emotional. So I did something that I wasn't thinking. And I got karma for it 24 hours later. 24 hours later, I got karma, and it had to do with John X's platform. And of course, we talked, and I went on John X's show. Big up to John X. We were talking for a while, and then I was like, let's do a live. He was like, let's do it right now. I was like, all right. So we did a live. I received so many amazing liaisons and friends and family from that interview. I met some of the most amazing people. It was a gift. And that was, I because of how I reacted when I received my karma. When my karma came, I acknowledged it. I said, oh, snap. I know why I got that karma. I know where it came from. I did. I acknowledged it. I was like, okay, I know where that came from. I acknowledge it. You know what? I'm going to make a different decision next time, and I won't be so emotionally involved next time. I get it. As soon as I acknowledged it, and I kind of acted in integrity, I was gifted right away. Gifted absolutely right away. So big ups to the platform, John X. Thank you so much for teaching me a karmic lesson and distributing it, and also helping me to resolve it. So I thank you for that. And it's a beautiful time. And this is what I'm talking about. Well, the karma was, I had a situation so harshly. That's what I want to be specific, because there's other people involved. But those in Cypher know. I judged something quickly because I got emotional about something, and I judged it without looking into it because I didn't like it. I didn't like how it was showing up. So when I judged it, I publicly talked, and it gave me a residual, a karmic debt, like a karmic of 24 hours. I couldn't even make this up. 24 hours, I got a karmic residual from it. Then I saw it, I looked at it, knew where it came from. This is when you're self-aware, heightened in self-awareness. Okay, I get it. That wasn't right. I'll make better decisions, different decisions. I'll be less emotionally involved in anything. Yeah. And then all of a sudden, bam. Once I acknowledged it, I was gifted. I was gifted right after. It was amazing, right? 24 hours. You want to get karma. One thing I say is the light beings, when we do things, I don't say light beings, I have my moments, but I'm just saying, if you are basically a service to other type of person, including yourself, you're also loving to yourself, we get karma immediately because it's heightened self-awareness, and we haven't built karmic debt, like staying in the hotel room, like I said, dropping it, listening to Cardi B, all kinds of low vibrational, got all kinds of succubus and incubus going all kinds in you. Succubus and incubus flying and all inside of you, all swerving around. We weren't doing that. So a lot of times when we get karma, it comes quick and it's resolved quickly. Now, if you've done dirt and you haven't seen any residual from it at all, that means it's a buildup. That means they're waiting for you to get high enough and comfortable enough and really complacent enough where that joint, Saturn's home. Let me just say that. That's what they were waiting for. 7 years later. So for all these chaotic, narcissistic, sociopathic, sadistic type of beings who are enjoying the bar upstairs and doing all kinds of insidiousness, they were getting away with it because it was a time where everything was built. So they had so much debt accrued from doing dirt. Okay, hurting babies. You got a million billion karmic debt. Million billion. They've got so much karmic debt. So what happens is building. So you're gonna see like this. Sensei goes like this. Sensei like tower over here, tower over there, tower. You're gonna see like the twin towers. You're gonna see like you're gonna see you're gonna see the Tower of Terror. Anybody been to Disney? Y'all ever been to Disney? You ever been on the Tower of Terror? I took my little one. She was so upset with me. I took my little one and I said it wasn't that scary. I'll never do it again. I took her on the Tower of Terror. She didn't know what it was. And when they hear like the Twilight Zone, do, 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 and the whole thing drops. My little one had words for mommy and daddy that I didn't want to ever hear again. She did not like me having the floor drop beneath her and just her stomach all in her mouth. She was not okay with that. You know what I'm saying? So, oh, my back is itching. Sorry. My hair. So all that's just saying is that it's going to be very interesting. And I want you to make sure that you aren't pulling into, because remember, whenever the dark ones go down, they want to pull you into their mess. They want to pull you into their drama. So be mindful to stay out of other people's business. Remember, we talked about Saturn does drive-bys, because when daddy's home, he doesn't like people messing with his little ones. He doesn't like the ones that are hurting the light ones. So he's going to be doing drive-bys on karmic drive-bys on those diabolical ones. So if you notice, you see a lot of relationships that broke apart. Many of you saw a lot of relationships that literally were unable to last during this time. A lot of breakups. I've seen marriages that, and I come from that's that type of, that's neck of the woods where a lot of people are married. A lot of marriages have broken apart. People who were taking pictures on IG, hand in hand, love, oh, I love you. The next day they were divorced or filing for a divorce. Okay. So a lot of things are literally parting because remember, the drive-bys have to happen. You can't be around, you can't be an innocent bystander standing next to somebody who's going to be, who's got residuals from karmic debt that's been accrued for 7 years and more. So those who have accrued a lot of karmic debt, they're basically diabolical arrests lately. Absolutely, there's a lot of arrests. We've already seen the tangibles. Remember, I told you I'm getting gifted already from Santa, and it's not even Christmas yet on the 25th. Christmas hasn't even come yet, and I'm getting pre-tangibles. So a lot of the diabolical ones are getting the pre-tangibles. They're getting the pre of what's about to go down. So if you are in a frequency that is lighthearted and out of the frequency of that kind of residual karmic debt, you will be pulled away from people who are due for cleanup. Okay, karmic residuals. So it's a very interesting time, and like I said, I find it very interesting that the Hebrew calendar, my back. Like probably something just bit me. Sorry, family. This is gonna be so unorthodox. Look, many of you know what this is. That I'm scratching my back with. You know what this is, right? I'm not gonna open it because I got in trouble last time. Remember they shut down my live when I held this out. I was like, every one of my sea stars needs to remember that. They shut down my live for this. I love this. This is beautiful, right? Right there represents duality. Duality in the twins, right? Anyway, let me scratch my back. I'm sorry. I can't have that come out on camera. Yeah, it scratches your back, right? No, it's not a scratch. It's not a back scratcher. It's not really a back scratcher. It's just it's meant to deal with those narcissists who like to mess with me. If they come in this house, I got something for them. Tower over here, tower over here, tower over there. You remember they shut down my live for just showing you that? I thought it was beautiful. They're haters. Big up to YouTube. Thank you for having me on. Please put a like on my video. YouTube, I've been on YouTube for 7 years, y'all. I looked, you know what? Because I had a lot of people, new subscribers, big up to and you know, I have new subscribers from the person I was talking about. There's a diabolical woman online who's suffering from sort of sociological mental illness, but I just spoke up for my homie. Big up to Melanated High Priestess. I just spoke up for her in passion. And I have like tons of subscribers who came over from this person's platform. So big up to all those sea stars who came over from her platform. Yeah, I hope I hope you're okay over here. You know, we're lighthearted. You won't get any drama over here unless we're talking about spaceships and UFOs. You won't get the kind of drama you get over at her platform, but you will get some great, interesting support. What's going on with y'all with the Melanie Hypers is laughing. Yeah, it's crazy. They came over to we welcome everybody. We're an open platform, as long as you're respectful. So family, so how do you feel with Saturn returning? Is everyone feeling good? Like I said, you know, many of us in this community, a lot of the phone calls, like many of us have not been sleeping. That's the biggest thing. A lot of heart palpitations and not sleeping. But I want to say, if you are eating properly, if you are alkalines, if you are basically in your higher self, it's basically part of the process. It's part of the clearing, and also the anticipation is a lot of you are getting relief. So if anything, this video, I hope that you realize that you're getting relief. This is why all the craziness in the world is happening, because it's trying to distract you from knowing and appreciating and actually celebrating this time. Yeah, anxiousness. Yeah, it's because daddy's home. And literally there's a Christ consciousness. It's a specific thing. They knew this time was coming. The Hopis spoke about it. The Mayans talked about it. The Bible talked about it. The Quran spoke about it. The Talmud and the Torah talked about it. This is literally Scientology talked about this. So it's literally a time where we're experiencing the beginning stages of entering the age of Aquarius. Aquarius won't be here for a while, but we're going through the preempt of it. So part of the collapsing the timelines, then that happens. We're going into basically going into one line of your frequency. So it's separating the cream from the soot. So the cream and the soot is separated now. And then you're going to have a distribution of karma to level off the playing field. Remember, we talked about, I personally say, I'm not a fan of equality. It isn't fair. Equality isn't anything I'll ever advocate. I advocate equity. Equity is saying if Sue is here and Mike is here, and Mike has always been, no, Sue is here and Mike is here. Mike has always had a leg up because he's part of the male paradigm. Males have made more money. They had more privileges. But because I personally better, if they made equality, they would say, okay, Bill is here, Sue is here. I'm going to give them equality. So I'm going to give Bill $10,000 and I'm going to give Sue $10,000. So Bill goes back up here. Sue is here. Sue is still below him. She can't ever get to where he is. She can't ever match him because he's already had a leg up. He's had several legs up over generations of generational wealth. He's had a leg up based on being in home court advantage of the male system previously. So what happens when a healthy system needs to be leveled? You have to create equity. Equity is saying, well, listen, Sue is always being here. And if I give him more, he's comfortable. I don't have to give him any more, but I need to make them level. So I'm going to put Sue up here. So now she's here. I don't have to give him because he already has. I just want to put them on a level playing field. That's equity. Equity is distributing points or energy to where it makes things level, not equal. Equal will cause still a difference in status and distance. So I'm always down for equality. That's why I always am an advocate of equality, matching people to the leveling. Because if you had generational wealth based on robbing or colonizing a country, taking over for generations. So if you've basically come from families that displaced Native Americans over and your family has basically come and you've made generational wealth, while the Native Americans have always stayed the same. They haven't upgraded, they've actually depreciated, and your families over generations have benefited. It wouldn't be fair to give you equality because you already have legs up. The indigenous don't, because they didn't even know. First of all, you could, in their culture, in Native American culture, you can't even own land. The concept didn't exist for them. So the subsidiary would always happen. But when you allow for equality, you raise them up to the same level, and it's all the same playing field. And that's where universal law comes. That's when universal law comes into play. And if many of you don't know, the sea stars are in home court advantage. We aren't any longer in the patriarchal system. If you don't know, now you know. The sea stars in home court advantage. So there's a lot of things that will be helpful to the sisterhood. Right now, a lot of women will get a lot more assistance. Things will happen a little easier. If you're thinking about opening holistic businesses, doing things that nurture the planet, you will have much more wind with your sail because you're in home court advantage. So that's a beautiful part about us getting back into a healthier homeostasis. Because as we get a healthier matriarchy, we're not staying there. We're going into unity consciousness. It's not about one being above the other. It's basically meeting each other level and then being able to unite under equality in that's distributed with equity. Okay, so that's where we're going. So this is the beauty about Saturn coming home, because everyone's going to be leveled. Okay, so if you've done naughty things, Saturn will level you. If you've done nice things, Saturn will level you. So karma is what you do. That's basically what it is. And this is a beautiful time where Christ consciousness, it's not a figure, it's not a person, it's Christ consciousness is coming during the time where that consciousness is birthed, which is the 25th of September, not the 25th of December, which is the lie. What they're telling you about is another event that happens in December. You see how nasty they are? Do you see how nasty they are, family? They shapeshift everything. They do smoke and mirrors. They like bait and switch. So they'll tell you December is a pinnacle time. Winter solstice has another event that happens in the spectrum of 2012. Yes, it does. But Jesus, Christ, because it's not really Jesus, it's Christ. Christ consciousness is birthed on the 25th. So the 25th is an important day, but it was during the harvest. And what is totally solidifies that that is true is the Jewish holidays always coincide with the actual astrological celestial fixtures. So Jewish holidays are actually the sound horn. That's why the Jewish population is always one step ahead, because they have the celestial calendar that allows for them to do things in sync ritualistically with these pinnacle points and references in time. See, that's why they had an advantage, because their holidays were setting up for rituals. They didn't know necessarily what the rituals, but the rituals will allow them to have advantages during very pinnacle vibrational frequency times. Literally. So this time you are going to start to see a balancing of the beams. Okay, balancing the beams. And then we will start to see what happened. And yes, those who are harming animals, listen, it's already happened. You heard about what's happening with people eating the diabolical chicken. You heard about, please put a like on the video. The diabolical Popeyes chicken. Why do you have mass destruction chicken? They had people fighting over genetically homogenized nanobot chicken at Popeyes. I told y'all to stop sending me the videos of people losing their minds because they got nanobots all in their brains from eating diabolical chicken. First of all, if you're consuming a chicken that has white feathers and pink eyes, I have been places where chickens are naturally walking. You won't ever see any natural chickens walking around with pink eyes and white feathers. You know why, family? Because they're genetically homogenized. And you think they're just going to stop at homogenizing their genes? No, they put mass destruction in their feed. And then you set it out and give a $3.99 sandwich at Popeyes, and you wonder why they're acting like chicken heads? Because they've been infected. They're infecting the meat. I told you, if you're eating, I gave you the new, you're eating some okra, be safe. Okra's safe, at least for now. Then they had, don't think you're safe being a vegan either, because they had KFC has another nanotechnology, fake pseudo, I don't know what it was, nanobots abuse. They were competing with Popeyes craziness. So KFC had crazy vegans going to get their daily shot. Listen, if you're going to a fast food restaurant and you think you aren't getting infected with nanobots and all kinds of mass destruction viruses, you are confused. The only way that you can ensure your nutrition is if you're creating it yourself. If you aren't making it yourself at home, if you're not growing your own food, then you are just susceptible to anything that they want, because don't think you're safe with the homogenized vegetables that have all kinds of crystals on top of them, that they'll get you in that way. Then they'll make you so alkaline, make you have, with the Magellans, with the nano fibers falling from the chemtrails going underneath your skin. Some of you get Magellans, and if you don't happen to get Magellans, it's worse, because the nano tubes start to replicate with the blue field over your phones. And then it basically will hijack your brain. So now you're thinking about things and your phone is reacting to it. And you're thinking, oh, I'm psychic. No, the bots are telepathic. The bots are using the Wi-Fi in the nanotubes that's now fielding in your brain, and it's interacting with your AI phone. So now the AI is in your brain. It's disgusting. So stay away from that. Eat from your vines of your tree. Eat things that are healthier for you. Eat things that you can vet out a little bit more. Support your local farmers. They do an amazing job. I love the sparkles on the skin. That was part of, remember when I did the fast? Big up to those who came in the room. Please put a like on the video. Many of you remember I did the 30-day nano fast, and why I started is because I was getting sparkles on the skin, and I thought it was exciting because I thought the sparkles were like, oh, I'm becoming a light being. No, family, it was because I was purging the the crystals that's on top of the plants. A lot of your greens have what is it called? Oh gosh, who is the name again? Is Kiki on here? It's oh gosh, what's the name? Baby on a brain. Can you put the name here again of the crystals? Somebody, you guys know me from IG. I did a whole thing on it. Kiki and I did a show on it. Someone will put it on here. I'll say it in a minute. I forgot. It's in my, I was just talking. No, it's not pesticide. Oxalates. Thank you for Calibrate Your Life. Thank you. It's oxalates. Many of you don't know the raw greens that you're eating. See, in my culture, the oxalates, thank you. What many of you don't realize, and I've talked about this before, I'm not going to make a whole feed on this because we're celebrating Santa coming home, Saturn. But we talked about this before, and you have to realize that we're talking about that they have a agenda. And in I come from island people, and from South America, our people migrated from there. One thing we have, part of the way we eat, is we ate a lot of fruit. We're more fruitarians, and not fruit like the sweet fruits that you guys get in the States that have been homogenized to be sweeter. Our fruits are more bitter than sweet. Like our oranges are green. You guys have homogenized oranges here. A lot of the things here have been changed to make it sweeter and to isolate a certain quality to make it more natural and more something that would atrophy your system. Bitter is better, and bitter also kills parasites. Okay, so we do a lot more bitter fruits in the Caribbean. But one thing we do a lot is we have a lot of things from the vine. We'll eat a lot of that. And if there are fleshes consumed on the islands, a lot of island people are not big into meats. They'll eat it occasionally because they have to import it. They'll eat fish occasionally. Pêche, poisson, pêche. For our Portuguese families, pêche. For our French family, poisson, right? We eat fish occasionally, the Caribbean people, but it's mostly fruitarians. We're mostly fruitarians. And when we say fruitarians, it's not the sweet fruits that you guys eat here in the States. We eat things like breadfruit, which is not sweet. It's high in magnesium, potassium, avocados, which is not sweet, like, like apples and pears and so on. We do a lot of that. So that's more of a natural way to eat. We don't do greens unless we're trying to do herbal teas or to fix ourselves, like if we're sick. So we'll do greens when we need to herbalize ourselves or we need to get rid of a sickness. A lot of the things here that is perpetuated to Americans, and I grew up here my whole life, is eating a lot of salads and greens, which isn't natural, and it has a lot of oxalates on it. And because they perpetuated this vegan agenda, and mind you, let me state this for those who don't know me, I was part of the vegan and am part of the vegan vegetarian community for over 30 years. My mom reminded me, over 30 years. I've got some of you over 30 years, okay? So I was part of the vegan vegetarian community, was just rice, milk, soy, the things I'm allergic to, rice, milk, and soy. But because I was an island girl, fruits and stuff, I could do more fruits and so on. But if you eat too many salads daily, you build up oxalates and it will purge into your skin. And also it interacts with your AI remote control that you use all the time, okay? And then if you don't have the blue field covered that I've talked about on YouTube and on IG, I talk about everywhere. If you don't have the Bluetooth cover, you're basically replicating all kinds of nanotechnology inside of you, making you more susceptible to mind control, okay? So you wonder why you have people just looking at their phone. You don't even go outside anymore, family, without people. Listen, I've never seen anything. They took over the whole world. You go outside, all you see is people like this. I see couples. Remember when you used to go on a date and you actually talk to people? This is the couples at the table. Look. They didn't have to do anything. They body snatched you by your choice. Every time you go and get a new phone, you guys are body snatched. They basically have body snatched people, and people have given their free will to them. So I'm sorry. Did I go too far? I didn't want to talk about this. I want to celebrate with Saturn. I'm sorry. Someone just asked me about the oxalates. So all I'm saying is that we don't eat greens like that. We eat it when we're sick. And if you ever notice, and people are like, oh, that's not true. Okay. Go watch the dogs and cats when they eat the grass. What do they do when they eat the grass, family? What do they do when they eat the grass? Can someone tell me? Because let's see if we have some people who know. What do dogs and cats do as soon as they eat grass? And why do they eat the grass? Let me see if anybody knows. I know a lot of you know because a lot of you have. Yes, they throw it up. The only reason they eat it is to stimulate vomiting. And then we had a discussion. Yeah, they will vomit it up because it's used as a way to get something up. Wheatgrass was getting people sick. Years ago, I still have my wheatgrass machine. Wheatgrass was getting people sick and causing all kinds of liver issues. Nobody talked about that because that's not the way our endocrine system is. And if you want to go a little further, I don't want to discuss this now, but if you want to go a little further, someone was talking about, well, why do the cows and so on eat grass all day and they're fine? They have 4 stomachs. They have 4 chambers to their stomach. Animals that graze have different chambers, more chambers to their stomach that actually isolates food and breaks it down into different ways. We're not cows. Exactly. We're not cows. So I always am an advocate of more of the fruitarian lifestyle or being a breatharian, because at this point, they're diabolical with everything. I did a 30-day water fast. Many of you watch me. You can go, if you're newer to my channel, you can more than free watch me go through my 30-day nano fast. I don't cook with any more metal. I stopped cooking with glassware in my house. I only cook with glass and clay. And I only eat with bamboo spoons and knives. So I changed up everything. And I always advocate for mothers who are pregnant to stay away from metals. The last time I was pregnant, I had an aversion to metals. I changed all of my pots. I only cook with glass and clay. And those are the only things I cook in my house. You can verify it if you're here. And also I only eat with bamboo bowls or glass bowls, or I stay away from metals because we're being over chemicalized and metals are causing problems. And then we have all these electronics that are schematically working with the metals that we are constantly being exposed to inside and out. Fruits actually filter you out, especially if they're bitters, bitter fruits. That's all. Bitters always work. And even when we have little babies in the Caribbean, we get grape water, which fixes the baby's tummy. Okay. So I'm not saying Caribbean people are the bomb.com because Florida is Creole and Caribbean. I'm just saying we tend to eat more natural, the way natural human beings ate back when. We tend to eat more like the beings that eat naturally from the earth. So we do pull from the vine because it doesn't hurt the plant. It's not killing the tree, and that fruit is actually meant for us. And the fruit actually, if you eat local, actually has all of the beautiful protective antigens that allow for you to be protected. It has environmental protection that allows for you to take that in your body, and it protects you from the elements in your environment if your tree is living locally. Okay, so acai wood plates. Oh yeah, Theodore, where you from? Yeah, they have that too. Banana peels. Oh, banana peels are good to cook on. A lot of people cook. If you go to the Hawaii, they cook with a lot of the leaves, the bamboo leaves, I stopped. Okay. And again, we're all growing. And years ago, I think, we can't change what we don't acknowledge. And that's what's wonderful to be in this platform and have all the mommies on here, the abuelas and the daddies, because we're very children friendly. Because for some people, their awakening comes from them being mothers, new mothers or new daddies. Okay. Because they start realizing that the world now that they were okay or just dealing with, or just now they have a little person that they want to advocate and want to create a better world for. So that sometimes is the catalyst. Being a mother or father sometimes is a catalyst for some to wake up. And I think that's however you wake up is, some people didn't wake up with the first alarm, the conscious alarm. So some of you kept turning on the snooze. You kept hitting the snooze button on your consciousness, kept putting the snooze on. Some people woke up right away with the first alarm. Some people woke up before the alarm. I was one of those. I was up before the alarm ever went off. And I was lonely. I was lonely and isolated. I had a lot of friends, but not a lot of people who were aware. And that's the thing about it, is that once everything caught up to who I was, I feel amazing in this time now. But as a young person, back in the days when I was alone on my little planet in my mind and had a hard time, because here I was a conscious person. I didn't want to eat animals to hurt them. I was an animal activist, but at the same time, I was connected to extraterrestrials and interdimensionals that were letting me know the world as it was supposed to be. And it was before people really realized that was. So it was kind of like, is that really going to happen? Like, are we really going to have that time? And everything that was detailed to me back then has come to fruition. And I feel much more comfortable now. Yeah, it could be a very lonely world. And then, like I said, I had a lot of amazing, and a lot of my girlfriends, big up to all my girlfriends, a lot of my girlfriends from elementary school are on this feed. That's what I'm saying, Florburn, I'm about the sisterhood. My mom had great sisters who loved her, and I'm the same way. I have girlfriends. I never hid myself. This is why you get more of an authentic person, because I hadn't hid myself. I always was this way, and my parents let me be this way. I wasn't criticized for being, always wanting to go to the planetarium. My dad actually bought me things to help me, telescope, to help me look to identify it. I mean, I really am grateful to have some amazing parents that had a really quirky little girl from Mount Vernon, New York, that was quite different than any little girl that was around their neighborhood. And they really allowed me and cultivated me and just let me be. And it allowed me to be more compassionate with others, but also I wasn't traumatized either. Seaweed, guava, yes, seaweed. I love seaweed. Seaweed is like our snack in here. You've always been this way, but heavily criticized. It's hard and timid, right? It's hard. I just feel like this is a beautiful time right now. It's a beautiful time. And it's exciting because we can finally kind of take a deep breath and say to ourselves, listen, we know what's happening astrologically. We know what's happening spiritually, and we know what's happening physically. You basically have all of the necessary tools and intel to be able to master this avatar at this time on this planet. It's a beautiful time. So when Saturn comes home, we can celebrate and say, listen, we're ready. We've been ready for this 7 years. We did our work. I did my homework. I did a little extra credit. I did a little extra credit. Sometimes I slacked off. There were a couple times during the 7 years, it was like, I don't want to do any homework, but I made it up. So this is where we get to see everything come to fruition. So family is on and popping. Enjoy the view, but make sure you aren't being sucked into someone else's paradigm. Make sure that you are staying in your own perception and your own reality that you've created, because what they will intend to do via television is they will intend to pull you into the trauma-based programming outside. And that isn't your world. If you are living in a house that's safe and all your goodies and snacks, right? You have a cohesive lifestyle, you're loved, and you have loved ones around you, then you are fine. Make sure you remember that, and you always stay in your happy little macabre, so that you aren't being pulled in. We don't watch news. I remember people, listen, this is how crazy it is. I was sitting at home in my magical bubble. Because I coexist outside the matrix. I was sitting at home in my magical bubble, and I'm getting 50 million emails. I'm exaggerating, like 2 or 3 emails. 2 or 3 emails. And they're telling me, oh my God, there's a storm coming. There's something coming. Be careful. So many people. I read it. You know what I do? I read it and then I close it. But I do respond and say, it's all good in the hood. And it was all good in the hood. You see what happened? When you pull yourself into someone else's paradigm, or they're trying to pull you into that fear or something, that catastrophe, because remember, I'm aware. I'm heightened in self-awareness, and I realize that my inner world is creating my outer world. And I'm gonna just let you know, Fleurburne's inner world, for the most part, not all the time, is always dancing, waterfalls in my mind. I am, and my world projects like that out in the video, in the world. I'm usually always projecting leisure, health, love, conversation, excitement. I'm always projecting it because that's what's in my inner world. It wasn't always like that. So I've learned and I've mastered my awareness. And because of that, my projections are literally showing everything that's within me. And that's why when someone tells me what's gonna come to me that's negative, that is what they perceive, you don't have to accept it. They will send you towers. People will send you towers. You'll get your auntie to call you, oh, baby, hope you so-and-so because Uncle so-and-so died of stroke. And I know you like to eat this fried chicken. They will curse you. People, family members, and people will curse you. They will call you and like look up like a pleasure. They will basically spell you with demons of mass destruction based on their own limited cognitive skills and consciousness and their programming. So if they're programmed for sickness, sadness, and death, they will call you on the phone to give you a dose of the sickness and darkness and death, and they will spell you if you accept it. Rebuke them, because all the Christians in the house, y'all, I got that from y'all. I remember the first time I heard somebody say that, I was like, oh, she lost her mind. Listen, I was at first year of college. It was like, my dad used to call them the holy rollers. The people was, because my daddy, I love my daddy. My daddy passed a couple of years ago. It's almost 2 years. But he said the holy rollers. So this lady said one time, she was like, I rebuke you. Some homeless man in New York. I was going to college in the city. This homeless man did something crazy. She was like, I rebuke you. Jesus, not today. Jesus. She said, no, I rebuke you with the Holy Spirit. What? Listen, we didn't have cell phones to capture these moments back then. I saw that. I was like, oh, snap, yo, check this out. The homeless man was scared. Demons of mass destruction in him, and him being rebuked by this. She was little too, a little Christian woman. She was like, I rebuke you. Not today, Jesus said, not today. Yo, this man was scared. He backed up, nearly like shuffled over to the other side. So I witnessed Christian magic. Big ups to all my Christian subscribers in here. I witnessed some of your magic. Her thought and projection, she rebuked him. The demon fell back. He was scared. I was scared for him. Big ups to all my Christian family. They listen, if you're Christian and you've been with me this long, you already know. I always say, for those who used to come and say things about what denomination, I said, listen, what does it matter what I am? It's what I what I do, right? So I could tell you I'm all kinds of Christian. I could tell you I'm Jewish. I could tell you I'm Muslim. What does that matter? You know what I do. You know I love animals. I donate my time to my animals. You know I love family. You know I love the children. I'm always doing things with little children and volunteering my time with them. You know I'm an advocate for recycling. I do things to make sure I always recycle. I make sure that I always put everything away. I'm a fan of making sure that I be the change I see in the world. My dad was like that. You know, I'm not a cursor, but I will curse you out. I don't curse online because I don't think it's appropriate, but you know, people in my life have heard me curse. I believe in cursing people that I love and respect because I think that's a sign of lower field behavior and demonic attachments. And I take care of my body pretty well. I eat well and I make sure I'm trying to love myself. So why would you ask me my denomination? Because you know my character, right? And the things that I do. So if you know what I do, it doesn't matter what I practice because I'm already in the alignment of something that is cohesive and healthy. Okay, so does it matter if I'm Jewish, but I do those things, right? Am I a good Jew? Then I would be a good Jew. Would it matter if I'm Christian, right? That I do those good things. Then I'm a good Christian, right? Would it matter if I'm part of the Islamic sect? I'm a Muslim woman. Would it matter? I appropriate myself as being a good being. I'm a Christian, whether I'm a Jew, whether I'm a Muslim, whether I'm a Buddhist, a Hindu, whether I'm Seven Avengers, whether I'm Scientologist, it doesn't matter. My actions speak for me. Why do you need a title? So you could judge me? Because what would that make you think? If I was a Muslim that's being demonized throughout the country and I do these things, Would that make me better or less, depending on what you are, right? Okay. That's all I'm saying. So be mindful of those who try to, Christians don't really do that with me anymore, but at the beginning, they were just concerned for my soul. It doesn't matter. That's just a title. The title means nothing. The actions mean everything. Okay? The actions mean everything. You could be a Christian all day. I've seen Christians do some diabolical things that'll make your toes curl. I've seen Jewish people do things that would make you think they're not even human. I've seen Muslims do things that are crazy. So I've seen every religious sect act a part. Did it make them any better because they were Jewish or Catholic or Muslim? No. It's crazy when people do that. It's not even sane. I think you're suffering from Stockholm syndrome if you need to have my denomination in order to rock with me or not. Okay? That's why am I getting, who's doing this? What am I comparing? Daddy, who's doing this? Wait, hold on, family. Oh, it's 11:11. Big up 11:11. Big up. Saturn's in the house. Big up to Saturn. Let me do a shout out to Saturn. Big up to Saturn. I want to give a shout out to Saturn for coming in, showing up. I'm excited. I'm hopefully I've been behaving myself, Saturn, Daddy. I'm excited. So big up to all those in the house who are excited that Saturn's coming. Gifts and presents. I hope to look forward to hearing, because we like to share what we got. So hopefully you will share with me the beautiful things that you received for Saturn, because Saturn is especially Christmas is the 25th, because that's really when Christ is born. Hold on. I got this going on. Christ is born. So it's going to be this. So, all right, family, I'm not going to stay on. I stayed on almost 2 hours with you. I'm going to the after party. I'm going to get some snacks. We're going to IG because if you're going to join us on IG. Oh, I can type on here. Let me give you my IG. Normally I can't type on here. I can actually type on here. Hold on. I'll give you my IG. You could join us on IG. I play music and we talk. And it's more personalized because it's not 500 people with us. Usually in IG, it's only like, we only have like maybe 80 or 100 people in the room, and we talk to each other because I can open up the video. You can come and chat. We're snacking. We're like in bed. It's almost like a pajama party. So we kind of have a pajama party. Let's see. Hold on. Let me, I can type this. I'm putting my IG in there for you. I didn't know I can type in here. It's the first time I saw this. I think you got it. Do you see it? Let's see if it shows up. Oh, it showed up. Can I? Oh, I can't. Okay, it's in there. I don't think I can pin it. I don't think I can pin it in here. All right, so family. Yeah, we're gonna go to IG. I'm gonna get some snacks. I'm gonna start off with Shaka Khan. You know, I'm already excited. I got my red outfit on. I got my jammies on for Saturn. It's a pajama party in this place. I checked out of my hotel. I paid all my debt. I don't think I owe anything else. I don't think I ate anything else at the Karmic hotel. We're about to find out. I paid because remember I paid my debt early. We're gonna go enjoy ourselves with some music over in IG, so they don't try to get on me, because you can't even play music on here anymore. You ever notice let me stop complaining. I'm very grateful I could be on this platform. So please put a like on the video if you're in here. Take a moment. It's going to be 5 minutes. I'm going to join you on IG, and we're going to go enjoy the after party. We're welcoming Saturn. Big up to all those who are acknowledging of the different astrological fields that actually impede on our lives and make it masterful and make us better beings. Thank you for joining today. Thank you for all my new subscribers. I really appreciate you coming here. And our familia is really, really some of the kindest, sweetest, most amazing people are on this platform. We have the greatest mommies, the greatest daddies, uncles, aunties, abuelas. Our abuelas are amazing. They're the best abuelas in the whole wide world. They're all on this platform. We have light beings on here, and call it a judgment. I know it seems a little bit, I'm throwing it out there. I personally think you're all part of the 144. I mean, 144,000 of us. I think you're all a part of the 144. People are going to say I'm crazy for saying that. I just think so. Because I think if you could just be here and be with so many different type of people and beings and be okay for different opinions, I just think you're a different kind of energy. I think you would be part of the unity consciousness. because unity consciousness is what 144 represent. So these are beings that are okay with blue beings, green being, reptilian. They don't care if you're insectilian. They don't care that you're an angelic, or you may even show up as something else, as long as you're of a similar frequency that's here for the betterment of the earth. That's all that matters. I'm calling it out. All right, big up to all those who for Saturn. I'm going to check on it. Thank you again for joining on this feed. I hope it stayed somewhat focused. I hope it did. Sometimes I don't. So big up. I'll see you on IG in a minute. Peace, family. Peace. East to the east, the west, the north, the south.